Hello and welcome back to Tabletop Dub Shot, a live-action D&D game with all baristas. I am Renee, your dungeon master, and with me is Bela,
Who plays Val?
PE,
Boca.
and Jordan.
Pierce.
Last we left off, our companions have made their way to Sir Gregory's home, where they had the chance to meet some of his people and try to do some investigation as to why people have been going missing. It seems that his village has also faced similar situation as Ravenford. While in this clearing, they met a traveler named Cavino, who seems to be a friend to this small village. He shares that he travels all across Solovamp and was meeting with a friend, but after hearing about everything that's happened, wanted to look into these disappearances. He agreed that it appears that the lake seems to be the source of these undead appearances. All of you guys also know that in this similar direction, headed to the lake, there is a mine that does have gems that you guys can use to possibly lure the Pyre out as you guys eventually make your way back home. They agreed to investigate after getting some rest, and that is where we are now. You all find yourself in a dark landscape. You look around and you don't see anybody. Suddenly, it's almost like breath. It's like a pulse. It's soft and it's rhythmic. It's a kind of like a heartbeat, almost like beneath the earth. And slowly, the landscape starts to reveal itself a little bit. You look around and you don't see anybody. You don't see any of your companions. Val, you look around and you're fully alone. Buka, you look around, you are fully alone. Pierce, you look around and you are fully alone. It's a plane of almost shifting glass. It's cracked and it's glowing with light that seems to slightly emanate from these areas where the cracks have fractured all around you. The sky above, as you look up, it's not a sky, it's a rolling canvas of flame and void and falling stars. A storm swirls there, vast and alive, as winds seem to pick up the fires themselves, and howling voices that just seem like they don't belong in this world. Suddenly, you see a figure in ancient armor. You can just tell by the design, the shape, the color that this is ancient armor. It's weathered and it's scarred. It's etched with runes that, as you look, this figure is maybe about 15 feet away from you. There are runes across this armor that are faded, but in this dark landscape, they do shimmer slightly. He does carry a long blade in his hand. It's long and thin, almost like a sliver of moonlight as it's reflecting the light all around you. It's already in his hand. You see he takes a step forward. The ground fractures, glass splinters, and it ripples out almost like water. And all of this glass landscape seems to reflect distorted images. As you guys step forward a little bit closer to where he steps, first in these reflections, you see movement. It's kind of hard to tell. The lighting isn't very bright. And then you notice a movement, shadow, and then you realize that it's a person in these reflections. It's kind of hard to tell because anytime that you try to actually get a good glance, the image shimmers and it kind of fades. Eyes unfocused, and then it starts to appear again. But you can tell that it's a face, maybe a woman's face, very feminine, silver hair. In the air, you guys smell smoke at first, and underneath that, you smell hints of lavender. The reflections start to move across this landscape, and this figure starts to follow it. And first, at a distance, as it was rolling above you, a storm starts to approach and get closer and closer. It moves and starts to descend. And suddenly, in the distance, approaching this figure, you see a tidal wave of ash and light as it crashes down in the distance. And it starts to send wind that starts to twist the landscape even more. Images that you realize are now trees formed from smoke, and they start to rise in these spirals. And then suddenly, as the wind kicks up even more, they are fully torn away. Towers of bone start to grow from the ground and then start to crumble as they reach a certain height. Time, as you're trying to gauge, means nothing. Space bends, and then you see the figure run, trying to find this shape, this figure that is somewhere in the reflections of this broken glass that is the entire landscape. And the storm suddenly becomes like a living thing, and great wings of cloud and fire sweep overhead, casting this entire land in shadow. And then voices rise with the wind. Sounds like one voice, and then you realize it's just a cacophony of sound. In the voice, you hear, "Why? Why?" The figure that's close to you at this point, you're only a few steps away, doesn't answer. You just see underneath his cloak just like a jaw clench. The wind is blowing at this cloak that he has, trying to blow away at the hood that's over his head. And then you see the glass becomes a staircase, spiraling upwards towards the storm clouds, almost like a tower without walls. Each step flickers with light and darkness. Time itself is stuttering as you realize that as you walk, you are phasing, you're shifting, and this figure continues to climb. Storm gets louder, wind grows, and you hear the wind again speak up and just say, "She is gone. You failed her. Turn back. You do not belong beyond the veil." And suddenly, before you even realize it, you are on the staircase as well. Suddenly you hear the sound of glass shattering as the steps in front of you start to collapse. At this point, you realize that you are hundreds of feet above the air. The steps in front of you at the very, very top start to shatter, approaching closer. You turn around and you realize that the bottom of the steps have started to shatter as well as they are approaching both of you. Before anything else can happen, the storm, the ash, the fire suddenly freezes. You're caught in this moment, and you hear this figure belt just a yell of pain and agony of anguish. And suddenly the steps below you shatter, and you fall, and you fall, and you fall, and fall until you turn and you realize you're mere feet away from the ground. And as the ground approaches, you all wake up.
Do we wake up at the same time?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
And do a jolt awake.
You all jolt awake, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that
Do we realize everyone else? 14.
Also 14.
I got a 6.
I'll say with a 6, your brain is still trying to process this entire dream. Some subconscious part of Pierce knows that it was a dream, right? You literally jolted awake, like you know that this was a dream, but the way that your heart is pounding, the way that the sweat is dripping from your brow, even though you know it's a dream, some part of your subconscious felt it as very, very real. With a 14, my 14 clubbers, you realize that you all have kind of jolted awake at the same time. You see that they're still up against a tree, but Talea and Catriona are looking around, wide-eyed, incredibly shocked. You see that Cavino at this point too is sweating, and he isn't looking at anybody, but you see that he's kind of like breathing heavily, similarly to Pierce. But you look around and there are no mouse folk near you. It's just this group.
Would we have, from the night before, there would have been no mouse folks sleeping above ground, right?
Correct.
Great.
Right. Did Sir Gregory sleep above ground with us?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Cool.
You guys look around. Light drizzle. You guys hear the pattering of rain as it's hitting this tarp above you guys. It's light gray. The sun trying to make its way. It's still dawn is barely approaching, and it casts just this haze of light as the clouds are blocking most of the light. But you can tell that at this point that morning is maybe, dawn will arrive probably within the hour.
I think Buka sits up. Obviously, heart is racing, but I don't think that's a strange feeling for Buka. I look over at Pierce, and I'm imagining he's kind of staring into nothing right now, but also upright and awake. Pierce, are you okay?
Yeah, just kind of jolted awake, and I don't know, my heart's pounding, and I don't know what to think right now.
Did you have a dream?
I did one
I
that
like it,
felt
Val.
very real.
Did you have a dream too?
I think Val is not familiar with, so very familiar with having nightmares just based on her past trauma. But I think that it would be a new type of nightmare, but because she's used to having nightmares, she's putting on a brave face, being calm, cool, and collected, and pretending like that hell scene did not just happen.
Already standing, you see the Cavino kind of walks over to you guys and just, you kiddos all right? I had a crazy nightmare.
Starting to feel like all of us might have had.
Oh
one.
shit!
Do tell.
It's I felt like I was in hell, and you see that his eyes kind of, it was, I don't really remember it. And as you guys try to remember the dream, you guys remember the feeling. You guys remember hellscape and glass and fire and a cloaked figure. But as you start to try to pinpoint details of this dream, kind of like smoke on a windy day, it just drifts away. Your guys' heartbeats return to a normal pace. I don't remember. I remember there was fire, but
Does this happen to people a lot? Do people have the same
Nightmares?
dream a lot?
looks at you guys. You all, and then looks over at Katrina, the twins, and it's just like, oh, dang. Oh, we all had this. Oh, this is. Oh, this. Oh,
Yeah. No, Buka, this is not normal.
not normal.
Can we revisit whether or not are we like sure that we want to go to the lake, or can we revisit that? That dream freaked me out.
I mean, I didn't love it, but I mean, I'm assuming the lake has a bigger. There's no way we all shared a dream, and it's just a coincidence.
Yes.
Right.
Or we just all had panic attacks from the cake that you gave us.
Oh, okay. First of all, the gigs
I'm
were
just trying to find commonalities, no accusations.
Val, did you have a piece of cake?
I did not.
Yeah,
No,
you were. I thought I remember you refusing to eat it.
You did.
Yeah. Okay, I take it back. Was not the cake.
Did you not like it?
No, I was just
Don't be.
I was very
suspicious.
full.
Don't be suspicious.
I still have a piece left. I mean, we can split. I still want some, but I don't know what that was. But I think the proximity to the lake, I feel, it's a factor.
I think it is too, and I think looking for answers is what we're doing anyways. Now we have one more, not only one more question, but now it's something that all of us are experiencing, and the only reason for that has to be proximity to the lake or whatever is causing the disappearances and the zombies in town. And
Yeah, this is my first. I mean, I took a nap earlier, but that's my first like actual rest by the lake. So
Okay, well, sounds like we're still gonna go to the lake. I would like it noted in the notes of today's meeting that I am objecting to that, but I will go along with all of us. Can
You take notes?
he literally has like a
the
note. He's
minutes,
like,
please?
you said, okay, boo.
I would like my
Does not.
protest to be noted. Yes.
It is noted. Puts it back in his
Duly
pocket.
noted.
Mm-hmm.
Pulls it back out. Duly.
Yes. Can we at least try? If we're gonna go, can we try to have this thing wrapped up before we have to go back to sleep?
I was gonna say this is probably the best time. I mean, it's about to be, the day's about to start. So I would probably. This is probably. I'm not trying to go into a dark cave at nighttime. So
Yeah. Let's get going now.
you see that he gets his pack and starts to kind of put some stuff away. The twins, quiet, haven't really said much. They're starting to pack up a little.
I'll start packing our bedrolls.
Can I roll an insight check on the twins to see if they were maybe less surprised by a nightmare?
Go ahead and make an insight check. You can go ahead and do it with advantage.
Yes. 19.
19. It doesn't seem like the nightmares seemed new. It seemed foreign to them. As you're kind of gleaming and you're kind of thinking about, because they had mentioned proximity wise, like where their town is to the lake, same thing, Ravenford to the lake. It's on the lake, basically. And so I think they're thinking, as you guys are also having this conversation about, maybe it has something to do with being so close to the lake. If you guys are about an hour and a half away from the lake and you guys are having nightmares that vivid, what would it look like being right by the lake?
Right.
So
Like if it's like a kind of working its way around, it just hadn't gotten to their town yet.
as you guys are about done, it only takes a few minutes. You see that a few of the other mouse folk kind of make their way out, and Gregory makes his way to all of you and just says, "Good morning, everyone. Very sad that you guys are all leaving, but I'm hopeful that you guys can figure out some answers as to what's happening. But I feel very, very honored that I can consider you all friends."
Absolutely. Did you sleep good, Gregory?
Yeah, I slept good. Oh, it was so nice being back at home. But also, I forgot that we had these, and you see that, and he's like, "Come here, come here," and then some of the other like mouse folk come, and they all have a handful of like chestnuts as they start, and like I know you guys already have some food, and there's some stuff. I ate some of the stuff that was like in the back of the carriage, so also we kind of wanted to give you guys a little to replenish some of the wares that I may or may not have eaten. Sorry, Lady Val.
It's okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind gesture.
And you guys are able to. It's literally only a handful, but
Pierce would have looked over at maybe Buka and Val, like trying to make a face of like, we shouldn't say anything about the dreams we just had. Like right after I had asked him, and he said he slept well. That means he didn't have it. So I'm like, let's just
You make a face to communicate this stuff.
yeah.
So no, okay, no, don't talk about. Oh, you got it. Yeah, just us. Buka starts mumbling as he walks away. Yeah, we only we get the creepy dreams. That's okay. We'll get the creepy dreams, and then we'll go get closer to the lake. And when we get closer to the lake, maybe the creepy dreams will get creepier. So that's good.
you see Cavino walking next to Buka, and he's just like, I cuts the little cake in half. Just like, man, just have half, man. Just
I start eating it right
I thought I was stressed, man. You're really stressing me out, man.
Yeah. This is what happens when you leave home.
Yeah, usually it's not this scary. I'll be honest.
Usually it's not this scary.
I mean, the world's kind of scary sometimes, but it's not all scary. But usually things you can see or run away from.
Yeah,
Not, when you're in the comfort of your sleep.
I get that.
As he hands you the cake, you're able to scarf it down, and still upset, but I think it kind of calms Buka's nerves down just a little bit. Cavino walks with you for a little bit and then looks back at the rest of the group and just says, "Are we all ready to go?"
Yep, let's get the heck out of here.
Okay. Looks over. "Gregory, hold it down, man." I will. Cavino, keep them safe, okay? Just says, "You got it, buddy." All right, well, let's get to it. Puts his pack on and then just starts to walk in the direction of the lake.
You don't want to get on the carriage or the.
You guys have a kid. Oh, this is gonna be the easiest day ever.
We have 2 horses.
Oh yeah. Okay. And then starts kind of veers a little bit and gets over to where the carriage and the horses are. You guys are able to put reins on them.
Pierce is gonna sit on the back, like facing Gregory as we leave.
Very cool.
Do you swing your legs?
No,
Why not?
because Pierce would not do that.
Because he's psychotic. That's why he's sitting completely still.
I'm actively working to keep my legs.
His legs are dangling off the back of the cart.
They're not
And-
dangling though. They're just.
Yeah, they're dangling, but so stiff, like he's about to do leg extensions at the gym, except he doesn't do them. And every time the cart bounces, it's like a little bunny rabbit's running across the field.
You guys start to make your way out.
Yeah.
Kat and Talea will be in the back as well. Actually, in the back of the carriage. Cavino finds he just makes his way to the front seat. Who's gonna drive the cart though? Because there's 2 spots in the front.
I'll drive the cart.
Cool.
No,
Buka?
it's not a learning moment for Buka today.
Buka goes in the back. But you guys are able to wave as this massive crowd of mouse folk have appeared and are kind of waving their tiny little arms.
Buka is
I love
also waving
that.
back. and kind of not yells it, but just says, "Good luck with your nightmares. Hopefully they're not gonna happen to you too."
You kind of keep it at like a lower tone though.
Yes. I'm like, just so people in the cart can hear it.
You
Gotta
you hear
stop telling them.
you hear Sir Gregory, you too, and then you see he's whispering someone like something to someone's like a lot of hand waving and confusion.
What did he say?
What did he say?
But you guys are able to go. As you guys are kind of already going for a few minutes, Cavino just says, well, if we're going at this pace, we should be there in about an hour and a half, maybe.
That was quick.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
so-
we're not that far. So we can go check out kind of what's going on. You guys are traveling for a little bit. Do you think Val would start a conversation with Cavino or sit in silence?
I think we would just sit in silence. I would at least.
Go ahead and give me an insight check.
How insightful. I got a 6.
A 6? Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he kind of wants to keep the quiet as well and trying to kind of match your energy a little bit. This goes on maybe for like 30 or 40 minutes. Feet are kind of shifting a little bit, looking around. Eventually there's a point where he looks at you, Val, and just says, so what's your, what's up?
What's up with me? Oh, I guess you don't know my lore, huh?
Oh, there's lore?
Doesn't everyone have lore?
Huh. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess
Mhm.
what's your lore?
Well, I'm currently I got sent away from home for reasons. I'm going to the school that my parents met at, and I reconnected with my long lost childhood friends. All within the past, I guess, week. So I
Oh.
haven't seen these guys in like
Oh.
5 years. So
Oh. Yeah, that's
yeah.
okay. That's a lot. Wait, okay. I think we should probably start at the beginning. You
hmm
got sent away.
Yes. For reasons.
Okay.
hmm To
That's
go to school. Mhm.
and wait, so where'd you get sent then?
To my school, the one that my parents met at.
Okay.
I think you've been around the area. It's Lenith. It's up north.
Oh, in Stakaria.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, I kind of stay away from that. School's scary as hell.
Why is it scary?
It's a lot of like spires and towers and stuff like that. And
The architecture is beautiful and historical.
oh, you're one of those. Okay.
Oh my god. What does that mean?
No, it's a lovely, lovely place. They all have like weird cloaks on. I don't know. It's all. I'm hoping you like it, but I mean, you got sent away, so
Yeah. Bittersweet. Not happy to be sent away, but happy to be away.
okay. So this is when you got separated from. Kind of looks back the 4 of them.
The 3 So we just met the twins yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the military man and the tabaxi. Those are my boys.
Okay. Okay. So the
Yeah.
3 of you. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Right on.
3 of us.
Yeah. That.
Purposely leaving out Weaver
Yeah.
for reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see, I mean, he has no reason to not trust. He just says, "Oh, that's crazy." So then the 2 of them kind of stayed back, probably in Alcor, and you got sent away. Damn, that's a bummer.
Well, we knew Pierce was going to join the military because that's what he always wanted to do. And we knew
So
it
he
was
went
harder
away
to
too.
Yeah, but he didn't know I went away, and then Buka was just there. And then we lost touch with him. But we found him on accident. You know, it's a lot.
Listen. Okay. Well, actually, I don't want to say I get it because that's crazy. That's in the last week. So good for you for reuniting with your friends. But I think people's paths have a way of kind of rejoining each other. I think when they're meant to. So I'm glad that you guys all looks back a little bit. I'm glad you all had a chance to get back together and reunite. So
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
So what about you?
I mean, what do you want to know? I have lots of stories to tell. I travel a lot, so.
Yes. But
Uh-huh.
how long what made you want to start traveling?
My parents, as far as I remember, it's been a couple hundred, 200 years, something like that. But they were traveling performers. My mom mostly sang, but my dad was like an orator. He performed tales and stories. And so that's how we kind of earned a living. And so I got the traveling bug, I guess, from them. I not very musically inclined or as like gifted at storytelling, probably as they were, but I think I got really used to traveling. I just kind of travel and pick up odd jobs when I need to.
Mm.
One of the nice things about living, and he's like, I'm sure you'll understand, but your parents, I'm sure, understand some stuff starts to, I guess, gain in value. So there's just things that I've had that I sometimes sell for money, I guess. So most of the time I'm just kind of picking up odd jobs and meeting people, traveling, I don't know, just exploring. I think there's a lot to see, and I think as long as I live, I think time is still a little too short to not go see what's out there.
What have you been holding on to and selling?
You see that he goes, go ahead and give me a perception check as he does this.
18.
18. As he opens up like the flap of his bag, it's like a pretty standard size, travel bag. Like it's large, not over the top. You see there is like a point where not incredibly deep, but his arm goes into the pack, probably all the way to like the elbow, and then he pulls out kind of like a long wooden box. And as he starts to pull it with an 18 perception, you realize that the dimensions of the box don't match the dimensions of the bag. The box itself, lengthwise, is, you would be able to probably see the outline of the shape just with how large it is. Maybe like 3 feet, 3.5 feet. And the bag itself is not that. But he pulls it out, closes the flap again, and then he just says, well, I have some of this stuff that I've just gotten in my travels, and latches open. And inside you see various knickknacks. You see old worn away bells. You see some coins that they're gold coins, but you can just tell that they're like worn and used and have passed through, I guess, a lot of hands almost. And you start to see other just kind of various knickknacks like that. Randomly, people like something that I have, and I'll just honestly, I'll try to sell it for as much as I can, but I'm respectfully not going to use this spoon. It's a nice spoon, but I'm not gonna. I don't need it. So if someone wants to buy it and they want to spend a gold or two, I'll be like, I won't say no. Do you want a spoon?
I mean, we have spoons, but
Yeah, but this one's nice.
yeah,
Here you go, and just
Does
kind
it-
of puts it in front of you.
I don't want to buy this off of you.
No, it's a gift. I have plenty.
But how?
I have other spoons. You don't have to, but
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I think I'll put it in the back with the other utensils, and I kind of. Buka, can you put the spoon away for me?
Sure.
Buka, go ahead and give me a perception check as well.
Yeah.
As this is happening, he's latches back up and then puts the box back in the bag.
This is going to be dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You look at it, and at first it looks like a teaspoon, like literally for stirring tea and things like that. As you're like, okay, you go and grab it and you start to, put it in some random, box somewhere. With a dirty 20, you look at it. Again, it's patina, it's old, it's used, but as you wipe away some of the grime and dirt that's on it, it's silver and then etched in again, it's so tiny. It's like worn away, it's kind of bent a little bit. So you see an emblem that's been stamped on the spoon itself, and you realize that it's worth, not excessively, but you know that it's worth more than what the value of the silver is. Like the spoon itself is almost like a collector's item.
I can tell from all of the borrowing that I've been doing over the past years. I take a look at it, I wipe away, and I see the emblem, and I double back at Val, who's turned away, and I try to catch Cavino's eye.
He looks back and just kind of gives you a little wink, and then goes back to that conversation with Val.
Okay, well, I tuck it away safely into the rest of the pack.
Well, yeah. I mean, is there anything else that you wanted to know, or I'm kind of an open book.
You are, but you aren't, and it's very intriguing.
People just, I don't know. People don't really ask a lot of questions.
Yeah. Your bag. How did you do that?
Do what?
That box fits in the bag, and you can't tell that that box is in that bag. Is it magic or?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's
Hmm.
larger on the inside.
How large?
I haven't really tested it. I mean, there's a couple different things that I have in here. Flaps it up again. He's like, well, I have that box. He's like, I have the mango, but we're saving that. I still have half the honey cake. I have my sleeping bag, a tent, another pair of boots, a couple changes of clothes. And again, you're looking at this bag, and it's like I'm not gonna say it's like a small bag, but the actual bag itself isn't massive. And
Like a above average backpack.
yeah, and he kind of keeps on going, and he's like, yeah, and I think there's a doorstop. I don't know. Oh, and he pulls, and it's literally like a small handheld scythe. I mean, you guys have been around enough where it's a farming tool. I have one of these. Yeah, I mean, it's magical. It's designed to do what a bag does best.
Did you get it like that, or did you do that to the bag?
It was a gift. I got it like this.
Oh, I want a bag like that.
It's honestly really nice. We can get you a bag like you have to go looking for them, but they're not the most common thing in the world. But it's not impossible to find. You could even probably fit. And he kind of points to the bow that's like by your feet. You could probably even keep your bow in there. Some of the food in the back. It's kind of nice.
So it looks like we're traveling lighter than we actually are. Love.
It's convenient.
Mhm.
I listen. This is nice, by the way. This carriage situation, the horses. This is very nice. Thank you. It's nice not having to do any actual walking for a little bit. But because of that, kind of have to be smart with packing. And so before I used to just carry a lot of stuff. And then I finally got this bag, and then my entire life got made so much easier.
Mm.
Yeah, because it also doesn't weigh a lot. Any kind of holds the bag to you.
Can he's like offering for me to like grab it.
Yeah, to like kind of weigh it almost.
Oh, yeah. That's really impressive.
It weighs like 9 pounds. And there's so much stuff. So it's like it's still pretty heavy.
But it's not hefty, like tent worthy.
Yeah.
Peculiar.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Hey, you guys, look, the lake. There's like a small opening of the trees, and you start to see the lake. Clouds still formed above, light where you guys are, but they've started to be roiling above the lake itself.
Puka looks at the lake. Okay, well, it's still morning time. Got plenty of daylight left. Should we head straight to the town?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably going to be our best bet. We can see if, hopefully we find people.
Okay.
Val, you're able to hurry the horses up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, Destiny. Yes, Manifest.
Hey.
Again, at this point, with the horses, they're not like going super quickly, but they're galloping a little bit. They're trotting a little bit faster. You guys finally make your way. You guys enter. This town is it's hard to like describe it as an actual town because there are definitely buildings there. It does seem like there's maybe some like restaurants and some like inns almost, and maybe like a tavern, but it's only 5 or 6 buildings as you guys enter, even compared to some of the smaller towns that you guys have been to and seen in the last couple of days. It definitely is set up more as just temporary housing and food situations to the mine itself. At this point, Cavino, as you guys slow down, as you guys enter the town, Cavino, he stays by the horses in the carriage, but at this point he gets off of like the carriage. Looks over at Val. Are the horses gonna get spooked easily, or
No, we've gone through worse and they were fine.
okay? Well, he looks over and speaks a little bit louder to like everyone in the back. Just says, "Let's go take a look around."
As we finish the traveling, do you want me to roll for?
Oh yes, for everybody listening at home, Pierce and I, Jordan and I, have kind of come up with a We found it online, so shout out to whoever came up with like the full, I guess, design of it. We kind of switched it up a little bit, things here and there, but we kind of came up with a way of like learning languages and using like a continuous. There's like a final DC. It's like a higher number, but over the course of like a week or so in game, you're able to like add to it. So we're doing intelligence checks, but we said we were doing what language first?
Dwarvish now, because
Dwarvish.
I have that note that I found in my dad's office that was in Dwarvish, and I don't.
Very cool. Go ahead and roll an intelligence check, and go ahead and do it with advantage.
That's the first one I've been rolling. 18.
18. Go ahead and mark 18 down. The DC you're trying to hit 75 to understand enough of it and be able to read it. 100 to become conversational. 75 you can read basically any Dwarvish text, and you'd be able to like understand like phrases and words and stuff like that.
Right.
But if someone was having like a full conversation in Dwarvish, you might lose track of it. And then actually, you know what? Let's say 85 to become fluent.
Okay.
So it'll take in game a couple of weeks to kind of get to that point, but you'll be able to read it and then understand it and speak it. I will leave it up to Pierce to keep up with it. But whenever we kind of get to like a new week or so, we will do other roles and stuff like that. Very, very cool. So Pierce, you're able to do this in that about hour and a half time that you guys are traveling as you're kind of reading the note, and then you're starting to kind of like cross-reference a little bit. At this point, you guys enter the town. For everybody in the back, you guys do hear Cavino's voice kind of call out and just says, "All right, everyone, let's take a look around."
Okay. Are we staying on the cart or are we all walking?
I'm gonna walk around, and then Catriona speaks up a little bit and just says, I'll go with Cavino. We should probably stay in groups."
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll walk on this side of the cart, and I go to the opposite side of the cart that Cavino and Catriona went to.
Mhm.
And I'll stay real close.
Leia is by you. She says, I can stay with you. We can have each other's back."
Oh, thank goodness. Whew. I did not want to walk by myself.
There's nothing to be afraid of, as she's like clutching her symbol so tightly.
Yeah, I'm gripping my rapier equally as tight.
Go ahead and give me perception checks across the board.
I got a nat 1.
Ooh.
I'm focused on my horses.
I got a 14.
I got a 9.
For my nat 1, you are parking the horses. You haven't had a chance to look around quite just yet.
Mhm.
For 9, you're a little worried, a little scared. But with a 9, you don't hear anybody. You don't see anybody. You get a similar energy when you guys were in Ravenford, but not quite as scary. Being in a full town where you guys are, you can literally see all of the buildings. Like you visually have access to all of the buildings. And so there's less places, I think, where things could be hiding. So you don't really see anything in kind of similar energy, but it doesn't seem like you'll get suddenly surrounded like you guys could have possibly in Ravenford.
Yeah, I think we should be ready.
Talia nods, doesn't say anything. For 14, you see the town. So as you guys enter the town, you guys are entering basically from the east. The town, like I said, it's only 6 buildings, but it almost seems to run north-south. On the northern part of this, there's this trail that leads up this fairly large hill. It's not quite like a mountain or anything like that, but you do notice there's about 3 carts that have just been left there. One of them seems to be actually like stuck in the mud almost, but the other 2 seem to have just been fully abandoned. But as your eyesight follows with a 14, you do see this wooden and metal contraption that you realize is an elevator. It seems to be manually cranked, but you do see that it is maybe a couple 100 feet away from where you guys enter the town.
Has Cavino veered off on his own yet, or is he?
Him and Catriona have are like, they haven't walked into the building, but you can see that they're pushing doors open for one of the buildings nearby. It almost seems like a tavern. and you see that he's like looking around, isn't walking in, but you see that they're saying something and like a lot of pointing inside, and you can't hear exactly what they're saying, but
So
they
they've already kind of started investigating
Mhm,
the buildings, not entering, but opening doors and seeing what's
mhm.
going on a little bit. Okay. I think I'll still be on the cart. I don't think I haven't popped off yet, especially because the cart hasn't stopped. And I see Buka has joined them, so it's the four of them. So if I were to veer off, that would be all solo. So like I'll wait for cart to be all set, and then hey Val, I'm gonna go check something out that I noticed. You want to walk with me? I just want everybody to kind of have to stick with at least one person.
Yeah, we love the buddy system. Let me just make sure Manifest and Destiny are good.
You are able to find like a spot at this point, not overgrown, but there's definitely like patches where grass has started to pile up. The actual, again, one road is even hard to say, or a street is hard to like describe it as that, but the one kind of like access path that leads to all of the buildings, obviously no grass there, but towards like the side closer to the buildings themselves where less foot traffic probably has happened, grass has started to grow, and so you're able to guide them over there.
Compared to Ravenford, how I don't fully remember, was Ravenford pretty overgrown? More so.
No, because you guys also matched the diary entries to your guys' days. And from when the diary got very dark and scary to when
And
your
then
guys' day
ended.
was, it
Yeah.
had been 3 days.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
But you're able to tie them up loosely, obviously. But there's like a post where if you need to make a quick exit, you could literally just almost yank on them, and then they'll be able to be on their way. For Buka, do you try to approach any of the buildings, or are you kind of just staying on this main access path?
I think we'll stay on the main access path, and then Talia and I will kind of take a couple steps towards the building and like poke our heads towards it and lean over to the side and check the side of the building. Maybe try to look in through windows, but I'm not going up to any buildings. No shot.
Yeah. The closest you see, she's not opening doors, but you see that she will climb on like the porch, and where it almost seems like an inn, or maybe more like as you kind of are with her a little bit, not opening doors, but as you look through the windows, you realize it's not an inn, but it does seem to be almost a dormitory setup where it's literally like as you look inside, pretty open space. There seems to be a fireplace in the corner, and the rest of it is just cots. As you're kind of like looking in, you don't see anybody. You count maybe 25 cots.
Dang. Do you think that all 25 of these beds were being used?
Let's hope not.
Oh no. And mentally, Buka is keeping a tally of how many people he can expect to find as zombies. And right now that number is 25.
Okay, well, let's say, yeah, as like, because you guys are still kind of looking in and possibly trying to catch any movement. And then we're still using like the 9 perception check from earlier. So you, unlike Ravenford, where it almost seems like food had just been, and plates and dinners and stuff had just been left, you don't really notice that. You don't notice things like askew to the level that they were in Ravenford, and you're looking inside. And again, it's like a fairly open setup. It's just, again, all of these are just 1-story buildings, and you're looking inside, and there does seem to be maybe like a room or two, but they could maybe be used for like bathrooms. And at this point, partially with the rain, and again, it is kind of a very muddy, kind of dusty area. The glass itself is like smudged. You guys are still able to see through it, but it's not, a perfectly cleaned window. And as you guys are looking inside, all of a sudden you hear boo as you feel like a hand on your shoulder. Another hand goes immediately where Talia's hand is, and it's Catriona just saying, "Did I hear you guys?"
Why? Buka checks his pants. Meant like,
Wearing pants.
yeah. Pierce's dress blues, no?
Mm-hmm.
I like pat myself down. No, that wasn't
There's no one here, you guys.
scary.
We
Well,
can, I
there's-
mean, we can check out the other buildings, but there's no one here.
Where did I'm trying to think back to Ravenford. Where did they come from? Did they come from inside the houses?
They came in from some of the buildings.
Okay.
Some of them did come from the water as well.
Hmm. Okay, well, if they're not in the buildings, then where would they be?
I mean, in the water or maybe up in the mine. I'm hoping that there's nothing here. We can kind of maybe hopefully get in and out. The way that our luck has been, probably not, but kind of
Okay.
hoping.
Do we have a reason to go to the water?
I'm not going to the.
Also, not going.
Yeah, my whole thing is I'm very sneaky, and it's kind of hard to be sneaky like and swim, in my
Mhm.
opinion. But
Yeah, swimming quietly is tough.
it's a lot of work. Yeah. While this is happening, Pierce and Val, do you guys make your way to the mine, or at
Yeah,
least
I'd be
the?
walking up the hill to the carts that I noticed and stuff.
Cool.
I don't know where we're going. La 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 la.
Yeah. At first, you're not sure where. Like he's taking you kind of like up this hill, and then as you start to look at it, it's weird because it's so close to you guys, but your eyes do not naturally drift in this direction. But it's as you're walking over there, you do start to see again this setup of frame. At the very top is an elevator, and then as you start to get closer, you realize the hole in the ground. It is an elevator shaft. And so there are a series of like pretty like thick ropes that you're not pulling on necessarily, but you do notice like a wheel almost or like a crank for moving this elevator up and down.
Fascinating. Is there anything in the carts?
As you walk up this hill, you notice on the one that's like stuck in the mud, there's nothing. In the other ones, it does seem like part of it is trash, genuinely, and kind of rinds of fruit that it seems like they've been eaten and it's just they've kind of been left there. So there does seem to be food and trash to some capacity. In the one that's closest to the top of this hill where the elevator is, the only thing you do find is a pack.
Hmm.
Do
I'll
you
take
want
the
to
pack.
open it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it.
As you open it up, the only thing you find in there are torches. They seem to be wrapped in some kind of like the top part of them themselves, some kind of like not bandages, but they seem to be like wrapped up in some kind of like cloth and more material. And then as you smell it and feel it, there does seem to be some kind of like an accelerant, basically, to kind of help. Not quite oil, but
Yeah.
something that just kind of keep a flame alight.
Is it a nice pack?
The pack is pretty nice.
I'm keeping the pack.
You're able to you could literally like almost like clip it to your current one. So at this point, if you take the torches out, it's literally just material. Doesn't really have a lot of weight on its own.
Cool.
For Val and for Pierce, go ahead and give me either investigation or perception checks as you guys are taking a look at the elevator, as you guys are at the top of the hill now.
16
An
investigation.
8
Perception.
8 perception. The true himbo was Val
All this time.
All wrong.
all along. Val, as you're looking at it, you can tell that it's like an elevator, but the actual setup of it is very non-magical. Like, there's not a lot. Like, you guys have been on elevators before. I'm gonna say it canonically, elevators exist, but in Alcor, they are magically operated. And this is one that, like, they exist, but like literally seeing like, oh, you have to like manually crank this for some of you guys, even for someone like Buka, like it's kind of a foreign idea.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely gives Val the ick.
It's like, oh,
That's
yeah.
why I don't perceive it.
You're like, I'm good.
I don't want to see it.
What did Pierce get?
I got a 16 investigation.
16 investigation. As you look at it, so this is going to sound like a really obvious thing, but the thing that you notice and the thing you perceive is that the elevator is at the top, which means that whoever used it last made it out.
Right.
So, and at this point, I'll say that the rest of the group sees you guys as you guys were making your way and kind of look at cards, make your way to you guys. And they finally get there. And then you see that Catriona speaks up a little bit and just says, "Did you guys find anything or?"
Not
An
really
icky
thinking much of
elevator.
note.
Icky
Yeah, I
elevator.
found a pack, but all that was in it was like torches and stuff right here. And I like show it to her.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. I liked it.
No, the pack is fine. Icky elevator. Okay.
Yeah. But the elevator is at the top.
Right.
So I guess safe to say that it still works completely fine. Whoever used it last did get out of the mine. But
Oh, yeah.
past that, I don't know how far down it is. I've never been in a mine. Not an easy way to get out. So
The elevator.
Wait,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say that's not easy because it's like,
Yeah, Cavino speaks up a little bit and just says, Pierce, that's a phenomenal observation. I will say mines do have, because otherwise you honestly people would just suffocate. There are air ducts that lead out. And so there are other ways out besides the elevator. This is probably the most convenient and less, I'm going to say crawling probably,
Mm.
but looks around. Well, whoever was in there made it out. So
If there are multiple ways out, does that also mean there are multiple ways in?
yeah, but you'd probably have to know where the
air ducts are.
air ducts are. They're a little bit easier to gauge, right? And kind of points to the torches that you have, Pierce, and just says, honestly, with a torch, like an actual torch, it's a little bit easier to kind of gauge because you might have to do a little hunting for it, but smoke makes its way out. So,
True.
Airflow.
mhm. So not that I've been in a lot of mines, but I've been in at least one other mine before. So
Where was the other mine?
it was in
Mine?
Stakari.
Hmm.
It was one of the odd jobs I took, but I think yeah.
Do you know who you were working for that job?
Like the company
Yeah. Like who
uh
hired you?
who hired me. Well, I mean, I was kind of looking for a job, but I can tell you right now. Actually, hold on. Actually,
You
have it.
have this written in that's crazy.
I have different. Dude, you have no idea. You have no idea.
You know the meme of the guy with like the map, but he's like big eyed. That's Renee right now. It all connects.
Each other. Where's that from? Sunny. It's always sunny.
Is
Always
that what
sunny.
that's from?
I think so, right?
I don't know. I just know it is that picture.
As you asked that, sorry, I was like, this is gonna be cut. But he's like, I got hired by Copper Coin Mining. I don't know if you've heard them. Go ahead and give me a history check, and you can go ahead and do it with advantage.
Nice.
Based on my family, I have -1 history. Okay, so the first one would be a 17, and then a dirty one. So can we keep the 17?
Yes, you may. Copper Coin Mining, not direct competition to your parents' like business endeavors, but there's only so many mines in the world. There's so many things like that, and you've briefly have heard the name in passing. Your parents don't really like them too much, but they also don't really like a lot of people. So it's like probably a group amongst a list of groups and people that your parents are not very fond of, especially your father. But
Hmm.
they are kind of like a, I guess, international mining company.
Hmm.
But yeah, so copper coin mining. But I think that's the only time I've been in a mine. But anyways, all that aside, I have a feeling that we probably have to go down, huh?
Probably. Do you think we should? I mean, you said you don't have a lot of experience in mines, but we don't have any. So, do you think somebody should stay, or two people should stay on the outside and force to go in, or should we all go in together? And maybe somebody stay back at the elevator.
I mean, it's up to you guys. So this is two ways I see it. If we keep one or two people out, if we're in a situation where they have to help with maybe, getting us out or helping with, moving the elevator up and down, it would be nice to have an additional set of hands, at like in the elevator, cranking the wheel and one outside.
Yeah.
But if something happens, then it's also one or two people left kind of exposed. So I mean that's the risk to reward, right?
Outside. Yeah. I'm just thinking, I mean, I agree. I think we need to go down. But worst case scenario, there's zombies.
Yeah. I mean, and then you see at this point, Talea speaks up a little bit and says, I mean, we can only do so much, obviously, but I do have some prayers that can help with that as well. It'll help with some like fighting some of them if we end up facing them while we're down there, but we can also try to like cast them away and turn them away, which should give us at least a minute or so of reprieve if we're in a situation where we're trapped.
Okay. I think that being said, we should all stick together. That way you're with the entire group and that can be benefited through everyone.
Yeah. As long as everyone is like around my like where I'm at, then And like I said, you should all be kind of wrapped in the prayer itself. So
Oh, thank goodness. If I get left with the horses again, I don't know what I'm going to do.
You act like you don't like them.
I love them. That was never a question. I got so scared, and you guys left me last time. I'm going with. Even though it's scary and there are probably zombies.
listen, I hesitate to say this, but I've seen you guys fight. I know my sister and I can take care of ourselves, and looks over Cavino and just says, I feel like you can take care. I can take care of myself. You're good. I think as long as we take care of each other, I think we should be okay.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay. You guys open up the door itself, and it pulls up, and then immediately just, and you guys are able to make your way in. As the first of you guys gets into it, you already feel like as the weight kind of shifts, and you hear the groaning of metal. More people step on, shifts, and at first you're like in a moment where the uncomfortable feeling as it is slightly hanging in the air, slight pendulum feeling, and then it kind of settles a little bit. Katrina looks at everybody and just says, all right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Head
Let's
down.
go.
Closes the door and starts cranking at it. Moves surprisingly as Katrina starting to like move the elevator, and it starts, you guys feel like kind of like a lurch, and then it starts to go down. It's not going down super quickly, but it doesn't seem like she's struggling heavily. It does seem like it's like a commonly used item. It doesn't seem like it's rusted or anything. And you guys start to make your way down into the mines. It goes down for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute. The light on top is slowly filtering down, as at this point there's clouds, but the sun, early morning at this point, is probably like 9 o'clock. So light itself is still filtering down. As you guys continue your trek down, the light slowly starts to get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer until there is like a point where you see nothing. The only people with even a slight visual are the people with dark vision, and even then, as you guys are in the shaft of this, elevator down, heading down, there's not really a lot to see for a little bit. The only sound is you guys' heavy breathing, as also there's quiet tones and whispers amongst you guys. And then there is a point where you're in the shaft, and then all of a sudden, cold air hits all of you as you guys are in an open cavern, almost like this mine itself is vast. Who has dark vision?
I
think-
do.
Okay.
Both of them do.
For
I
my
think At this
Oh, yeah.
point, I'd like to light a torch.
you 1, 2, immediately whatever like the accelerant is on there, it just lights up, and you look around, and it casts like a glow 30 feet, 45 feet away, like out, and you realize that you can't really see the bottom, can't see the walls to your left or your right. You look up, and the only thing you see is dim light, as you guys have been traveling probably for a few hundred feet. And then eventually, with the help of like dark vision and then the torchlight, you start to see the ground below you. And all of a sudden, you finally hit the bottom. Talea opens up the elevator door, and you see that she whispers something. And then, with also the help of the torchlight, you see that from her holy symbol, first 1, 2, 3 little like orbs of light start to like drift out, and she sends them out as they help illuminate, and they kind of go in like 3 different directions as they kind of cast a dim glow, but it does kind of provide a larger visual to this cavern. As you guys are down there, you guys notice mining equipment, pickaxes, carts, wheelbarrows, things of that nature. But you guys are left alone in this open cavern.
And just to finish what I'm trying to visualize, when we came down, we're in the middle, right? We're not like up against a wall. So in
Correct.
all directions, it's completely
Open space. Yeah. You're able to look up and, like I said, dim glow, and then you guys just see like thick ropes, as there's about 3 of them that incredibly long as it makes its way all the way to the surface. You realize you're probably about 400, maybe 500 feet underground.
I think Pierce first thing, because she already opened the door, right?
Yeah,
Or the
yeah.
gate kind of thing. I'm gonna step out and look around like elevator that we were in and see
Mhm.
if there's like a rope and anchor to like tie it off. Like I'm not that it's supposed to like spring back up, but
Yeah.
just for my own peace of mind and comfort to make sure that it doesn't get
You look
pulled back up
around
somehow.
and it takes a little bit. You're like, "Ah, there's no way to like fully secure it, like at least in a way that makes Pierce comfortable." You do end up finding a pickaxe, and you almost like, because there are ropes that like it's the remainder of the length of the rope that's just besides the elevator itself. And you start to make almost like a makeshift like pick, or not a pick, like a spike that you can tie the rope around, like where the remainder of it is. So it's taut instead of like the slack remainder that you have. And you're able to kind of like, you have to do a little, because there also are shovels and stuff like that, but you have to like dig a little bit. It only takes, 30, 40 seconds, just enough, but you're able to finally dig it in. And you do feel that it is taut. So like if someone from the surface were to try and pull it, they would be struggling to
Mm,
bring the elevator back.
cool.
Uh,
The twins are elvish,
yes.
and Cavino he's like orcish, right?
He's orcish. Mhm.
Would I know?
I thought
Do
he was
orcs
half
work?
elf too.
There's
But
elven
yeah, but
features. But he
he's also
presents
huge.
very orcish.
Both of those languages.
Do I know? Do orcs have dark vision? Would I know that?
Mhm.
They do. Okay, great. I'm the only one. Perfect.
Uh-huh.
Does anybody want a torch? I know y'all can see down here. but
Collective, we're good. We're good. Cavino looks at you. He's like, I mean, if it makes you feel better, he kind of
Well,
grabs the unlit
light.
one. No, it's okay. Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
I mean, light from the
Puts it in
torch
his
is good
pack.
for
Just
dark
comes it back. It's like,
vision.
it's good.
It's not the same seeing in the dark type of
Here,
visual.
I got you. Let me cast light on Pierce's ring. Here. You can see.
Can it be a little
Very-
horse that runs around on his ring?
Sure.
That's the aesthetic we did last time.
What's the like visual range? What is that? What is that going to give me? How much can I see? How far can I see?
I think it's 30. I'm pretty sure it's 30 feet.
1 hour, 20 feet
20 feet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
for 1 hour.
Cool. I think combined with the like orbs that were casted and that, I think I'm comfortable enough that I put out the torch for now.
Yeah. As you start to look
Or
around,
is there like I'm thinking at the bottom of there's probably like a spot for a torch to be held.
yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put the torch in that so it stays at the elevator and
Yeah.
just stays lit.
Yeah, as the ring alights and these orbs create like a more triangular light for all of you, you realize that at first where the elevator was, it was honestly like a very uncomfortable, scary feeling because there's nothing. You kind of just see littered mining equipment. But as the light extends out and you guys start traveling and moving around just a little bit in that area away from the elevator, you start to see structures. You start to like notice small buildings. There's areas for literally putting torches down, and there are tables, again, kind of like in the open. But you do notice as you guys start approaching, it's maybe about 30, 35 feet from where you guys landed, basically. There is this large table and there is a map. As you guys approach it, it does seem to be like infrastructure of it and different like tunnels and systems, tunnel systems throughout this mine. And you do notice some areas where there is like an X in some of the paths.
So
How many
we
torches do I have?
2 total. Well, I guess 1
2.
now because Cavino took 1.
Perfect.
so I'm assuming we just avoid the X's.
I thought that's where the treasure is. X marks the spot.
Oh, on a
Well,
on a map.
Cavino
Right.
speaks up. Well, that's for treasure maps. This is probably cave-ins.
I'd like to point out that I will be actively searching for torches.
I'll say
Everywhere
no
we
roll
go.
necessary. You do find a handful of torches.
How
He
many?
wants to
I have a
see.
plan for them.
Go ahead and
Wants to
I will
see.
allow this. Go ahead and roll a d20.
Ooh. I've
One.
never wanted a natural one more in my
Got
life.
I got a 12.
12. You're able to like find, at least in the somewhat vicinity, you do find 12 torches. Some, it seems, that kind of similarly wrapped at the top with this same wrapping and this accelerant on it. You could tell that some of them are a little bit more worn and used up. It seems that some of like the wrapping itself has been already burned away. You could still light it, but you could tell some are fresher than others.
Before we leave, so I have my bow on my back. Can I also carry a pickaxe with me? I would love to take
Yeah.
that just for my Minecraft adventures. Cool.
Yeah, I'll say that you have like a way to like kind of have it to your strapped to your pack. There's large shovels as well as like smaller spades that you guys could hypothetically grab as well.
I'll grab it. I'll grab a spade, but I would have put all the torches in that like extra pack, so it'll be a little bit slightly off balance weight because it's hanging. But
Yeah.
I feel like my initial pack isn't really all that heavy, so it's not.
Plus Pierce's strength, you're fine.
Unencumbered.
Buka is also
Encumbered.
like super strong. Can I carry a shovel?
Yeah.
Great. Sounds awesome.
Cool.
As we walk, I will be bringing up the back, I think, of the group, and like not necessarily too often, but like every kind of turn or new
Foot.
path that we enter, I'll be like trying to find like the most near spot to set up another torch. So it's kind of like
we'll actually get to that. So 'cause right now you're just in this open space, right?
Let's
Uh,
do something.
Did you want to try something, or
Yeah, can I detect magic?
as you are walking around and you guys are starting to make your way, using the map that you guys found on the table, basically it shows you that the cavern you're in only has two main tunnels that lead out, and they're fairly close, but they're up against the same wall. So you guys are able to make your way through there or in that direction. As you cast that, the only thing that you sense in the immediate vicinity, everyone in general is casting a little bit of like a faint aura with Buka's sheath that is almost like this flute
Right.
item now.
Mhm.
You notice a bit of kind of like magic. It's just wafting up. Nothing super crazy, but just a little bit of like innate magical energy. Same thing kind of from Talea, or sorry, Catriona a little bit. Talea seems to be casting off a little bit more, but you also know she's a cleric, things like that. So the two stronger ones that you feel from Cavino, from his bag, like the bag itself seems to be magical. It is the school of it would be conjuration, and you also get a magical aura, pretty strong. There's not a school attached to it, from Pierce's sword. As you guys start to make your way to the wall, fairly close to each other, it's two tunnel systems that we can kind of get into what the actual system looks like. From one tunnel to the next, there's maybe about 30-foot difference. So they're like fairly close to each other. Dead center, you do notice this massive carved rune amongst the wall. Everyone go ahead and give me Arcana checks.
Oh no.
11.
11.
5.
Tell
Natural 20
Buka.
Wow.
With a natural
plus
20
plus 0.
0. I knew it. Doesn't hit the DC. I'm so sorry. As you notice this carved symbol, it's not infernal or anything like that. It literally seems to be like an arcane, like almost like a wizarding sigil. And as you go, there's something about it that just like it feels like a candlelight in your head, but it's not a traditional orange red color. It's blue. As your hand approaches it, the sigil starts to buzz a little bit, and then you feel a glow. And it doesn't feel dangerous. You go and put your hand on it, and then you almost like slide up a little bit, and then all of you immediately are illuminated as various rocks and stones, some smaller than like, a thumbnail, others large boulders in the entire cavern, as well as in some of these tunnels, light up, as there seems to be these like arcane magical lights that have been placed throughout the entirety of the cavern in the mine.
Wow. Hey guys, I don't think we should waste our time looking for torches.
At first on the defensive, as this entire cavern is illuminated.
Okay, well,
That was cool, kid.
I mean,
You did. That was
sometimes I know what I'm doing, right?
yeah. That's impressive magic.
I think it's just, well, do you think there are other runes in the mine?
Probably.
I mean, I feel a little bit better about exploring now. Even with dark vision, I love the idea of facing anything in a pitch dark cavern. So
Right. Everybody just take a look at this one, this sigil, and know that this one is for the lights. And let's keep them on, shall we?
yeah, let's leave it alone. I think it's good. At this point, who would have the map?
I think Val
Fierce
would have the map.
Bravo. Oh, okay. I have the map.
You take a look at it. Go ahead and roll a nature check and go ahead and do it with advantage.
Cool. Don't have a negative for this one. We love that.
Let's
That
go.
would be a 15. And that would be a 16.
With a 16, as you start to look at it, and I'm going to say Val probably hasn't been to of mines, but in this major cavern area that you are in, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of like stones or jewels. As you eventually are looking at the map and trying to gauge like, cool, like where can we go? Where can we start investigating? You see the two tunnels, and it seems like one end of it has a lot more X's than the others. It seems that there's either been more cave-ins or dead ends. It's kind of hard to fully gauge because it's not like it's a path and the X is in the middle. It's like the X is at the end. It's kind of marking that it doesn't seem to be a way through. As you look through the right side tunnel, there's a couple here and there, as it is like this network of different tunnels in the mine. There is like a portion that's a little different on the right side, where at the end of it, there is not as large as the cavern you're in, but there does seem to be a large room that seems to indicate that at least either way out or another cavern similar to this one. But it does seem there are different symbols and arrows that seem to point towards this larger room.
Let's head to the right tunnel, and I think I found something on the map that looks promising.
All right, go ahead and take the lead.
All right, let's go.
You guys are walking. This tunnel itself is, again, various different spots that are just fully illuminated in this almost like cerulean light. It's not extremely bright. It's not hurting your eyes, but it's enough that it just creates this soft glow around the entire thing. You guys walk for a decent amount. You guys walk 10 minutes, 15 minutes, as you guys are also, I'm assuming, going slowly. No sounds, just your own footsteps and your own breathing. As you guys continue down, you eventually start to feel, and I'll add this in with Buka's nat 20 from earlier. As you start to enter, it's kind of like almost at that point, almost a straightaway tunnel that leads right into that larger, like a room or a cavern of some sort. Buka, you start to feel like a boop, 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 boop. You start to feel like your hair is not like extremely, but almost when it's like a rain, like a thunderstorm, you start to feel your hairs almost rise up a little bit as you start to feel this electrical energy or current coming from the room. It's probably 50 feet away, the entrance to the room itself.
Okay. It doesn't feel inherently dangerous, you said?
It doesn't. It does feel powerful though.
It feels powerful. I kind of put my arms out. Okay. I think there's something happening in the next room.
What do you mean?
I just sense power. And I realize now that I've said that out loud, it sounds kind of crazy, but
It sounded kind of cool. I'm going to be honest with you.
okay, sick. And I'm like trying to rub my arms down to make my hairs not stand up anymore.
As soon as you put it, just immediately. Again, it's not aggressive. It's not like a
Mhm.
fear like thing. It legitimately feels like you're stepping into almost like this electrical current.
I just think we need to be wary of what we touch or how quickly we approach this next room.
Okay. We're going forward, right?
Yes, it doesn't
Came all
feel
this way.
dangerous. I think maybe we ready the torches just in case. I have this weird feeling that it might have to do with the lights, and I would hate for the lights to go out.
Okay.
That's a Pierce problem.
I'll
Pierce. Sorry, Pierce.
I'll have a torch out, but
Maybe have it
knowing
ready.
that everybody has. You guys all have dark vision, so I'm not necessarily feeling like we all need to be holding one.
Okay.
Do you want your torch back or?
No, I got more.
Okay, cool.
So.
Just let me know.
Yeah.
Val, you're our leader in this journey. So
Yes. Is there like an opening to the room?
you see about 50 feet ahead of you that it opens up. Not as large as the cavern that you first entered, but it does seem large.
Okay. Let's go. Just being a little bit more cautious. And Buka, let us know if your tinglings get worse.
Will do.
Go ahead, everybody, and roll me stealth checks. If you're going to be kind of a little bit more cautious on your way in.
Yeah.
My rolls today are bad. I got a 14.
14?
Yeah.
17 for Pierce.
17 for Pierce.
I got a 9. I think I forgot that I had a shovel on my back for some reason.
I think that the clinking, I not it loud, but it just actually like hitting against your body. For Cavino. Oh, not bad. 17. Somebody, if they want to roll for Talea.
I got an 18 for her.
Nice.
For our cleric or our little rogue.
Let's say for the rogue. That would make more sense.
28.
Oh,
Beautiful.
dear Lord.
Who wants to
Should've
roll
rolled
for
the cleric.
Talea?
I'll roll for Talea. We were buddies when we were searching houses and stuff.
You
We're
had a
gonna
plus
kill
3.
her.
She has, no. With a plus 3, she got a 4 total.
Cool.
You're gonna kill her.
Hey, this is her stealthing. I think Buka accidentally hits her with the shovel and she hits. She falls into the
And she
wall.
just
Buka! I've been hit. You guys make your way in. You guys are being cautious, not making a sound, and this opening happens. And the room itself is pretty decently sized. Like to get to like the top, there's a lot less of these rocks, but it's maybe about 25, 30 feet up. And then as far as the dimensions of the room themselves, straight ahead of you from the entrance to the other wall, it's probably about 50 feet. And then it's about 40 feet from left to right. Not quite dead center, a little bit off to the left. You notice this almost like a naturally formed pedestal, almost, as you see that it's not quite like a stalagmite, but you see some of the rock it's just formed like up. And then at the very, very top, you notice this dark gem. And you look at it almost expecting to be already just a gem by itself, creepy. As you guys are looking at it, the most unsettling part about it is just floating a little bit off the pedestal.
Yep. That'll do it, folks. I think that's it.
That doesn't. That's not good. We're all seeing this, right?
Wait, it doesn't. But it didn't feel dangerous. Is it just? Are floating gems not good?
I think floating anything probably isn't.
Okay.
Would Val's detect magic still be?
As you start to get closer, at this point, it's maybe about 25, 30 feet away from you. Deep necrotic energy.
Ew, that seems like it would be causing the dead people.
Do we go and points over at Val's pickaxe? I mean, taking it feels wrong.
But
So
it feels wrong to leave it.
Well, I'm not saying. I mean,
So do we hit it with a stick?
I mean,
You have the shovel. You can hit it with the
Buka pulls out the shovel.
Wait.
I
Let's
start
talk about this
shoveling
before.
over to it.
No. Let's wait and talk
Wall
about
said
this
that it
before.
wasn't good.
We
Do I-
shouldn't
do I
break
just
it if
smack
we're going to. No. We shouldn't break it if we're gonna do anything with it. Let's decide if we're gonna do anything with it first.
I thought we decided we don't want to do anything with it.
I mean, we do kind of need certain. I'm being selfish. You know how much this would go for?
I don't usually sell anything. And I look at Cavino,
Right.
who sells everything.
I sell everything. I mean, listen, this is I'm you guys filled me in on what's happening. I'm tagging on. What are we doing?
I vote smack it.
Like away from the pedestal?
Yeah, maybe the pedestal is magical, you know?
I
And
am not sensing that it's magical at all.
oh, well, has
It
it
is
been
definitely just necrotic magic from the big spooky gem that is
okay?
floating above the pedestal.
Okay, right. So, necrotic magic. Is necrotic dead things? Necrotic is dead things.
It's like rotting, dead, dying, undead.
Well, yes and no.
Okay. What is
this
the
is
no
this is
part?
Talea speaking up a little bit, and she says,
Yes.
Mhm.
"Well, it's yes, a lot. It's a lot of undead. That's like necrotic. Necrosis in and of itself, it's very life transferring. With an undead, spirit is gone, but there's some force or something that's animating them. But there are, as dark as it sounds, there are healing spells that are at its true origin necrotic in nature, but it's healing.
Okay. Do you sense that from this gem?
No,
Okay, I'm smacking it. Anybody? Any objections?
I
don't have a personal opinion on what we do with this thing. Magic is not my.
okay, this is Talia speaking up as she's clutching her symbol. I don't know if this will work, but if there's some kind of effect on it, we could try to remove any curse that it might have.
Okay.
If there is a curse on it.
Okay.
you
Give me a
remove the curse, but where does it go? It's just
It gets dissipated.
oh, okay.
okay. Give me
Yeah,
a
it's not transferred. Yeah.
a
Okay.
13-second rundown on if a curse could cause zombies to appear.
Yes.
Great.
But there's a
Really
difference between a curse and then an effect.
Ah,
And so I don't know if this is a curse or this is an effect.
okay. Well, is there a downside for trying to remove curse?
She's gonna roll an Arcana check.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Looks around. You guys have our okay. We need you guys to have our back.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I pull my bull out.
You see at this point, he grabs like a little spade as well. He's holding it's Catriona has like daggers. She's like, yeah. You see at this point, Cavino literally has like a spade. It's like small.
What are you gonna do with that?
I felt useless not. Listen, okay, you do what you're good at, I'll do what I'm good at.
digging.
So Leia looks over and just looks at Kat and just says, "You have my back?" And then Catriona just nods. Talia looks over at Buka. I'll try it, and then if not, you hit it.
I'll hit it. I'll hit anything.
Okay.
Anything bad, I'm hitting it.
Where's Pierce at? No,
I think I was coming up like leading the back of the group in the first
Cool.
place, so I'm probably the farthest away from floating gem, but like looking outward. I'm not.
yeah,
like,
because at this
back
point
into
too,
the
you
gem.
guys have kind of gathered as well. So
Yeah.
Buka and Talia make their way up and just says, "I do have to touch it, so just be prepared to."
Okay.
You guys are maybe about 10 feet away, and then immediately, there's a rock. And this silent room just echoes, and you guys hear it in the tunnel behind you. And then eventually the echo stops. No sound. She goes to touch this gem to try to remove this curse. Buka, you immediately, as you have the shovel ready to go, a little bit of like pebbles and dust land on your arm. And then you guys all see just dust and small rocks from the ceiling.
Like the room is shaking.
Not the room is shaking.
The ceiling.
You look up at the very top of the cavern. Again, this thing is illuminated. You start to see a little bit of shifting, almost something's like tunneling or digging its way through. And then immediately Buka and Talea being the closest. At first, it's just a little bit of the rock in the dirt. And then all of a sudden, you hear the sound of rock falling more. And then immediately you see furry, long legs as 1, 2, 3, 4, multiple legs force its way out as rocks start to fall. Hundreds of beady black eyes look at all of you as you are witnessing the body of a massive spider. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Cue the music.
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck?
Burn it.